What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we have a bit of an update related to Mega Pokemon and how they could be a step closer to entering Pokemon Go. The news update comes from Pokemon Let's Go on the Nintendo Switch, releasing footage of Mega Pokemon being introduced into Pokemon Let's Go. If you are wondering what the connection is between the two games, it is said that every Pokemon available in Pokemon Let's Go can be transferred away to Pokemon Go. There is more confirmation related to the fact that Alolan Pokemon will be available in Pokemon Let's Go, as well as being available in Pokemon Go, which we saw a couple of months ago. So could Mega Pokemon be introduced sooner rather than later in the game? Since Pokemon Let's Go is focused on Kanto Pokemon, I figured I might as well go ahead and cover all of the 15 variations of Megas in Generation 1. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So let's go ahead and get into the first Pokemon on our list. And that is Mega Beedrill with a max CP of 3,262. Mega Beedrill is a dual type of bug and poison type, so there is going to be no change to the typing. So when we're talking about Mega Beedrill, this is going to be fairly interesting because it could end up becoming the #1 bug type attacker if it ends up getting a Mega. And something interesting about that is because of Let's Go only being Generation 1 or Kanto Pokemon, that would mean that other bug type Pokemon that actually would get a Mega Evolution may not have one for quite some time in Pokemon Go. They may literally just release it for one generation. So at least for a temporary time, Mega Beedrill could actually be propelled to the #1 spot. So if you do have a good Beedrill, I would recommend you to hold on to it. Up next on the list is Mega Pidgeot with a max CP of 3,417. Mega Pidgeot is a dual type of normal and flying type. So would Mega Pidgeot be able to take over as the #1 flying type attacker? Well, I do think it's going to be close between Mega Pidgeot and Rayquaza. But for the most part, if Mega Pidgeot does end up having a better moveset than Rayquaza, if they're close enough in stats, it could actually be propelled to the #1 spot. And it's always a good case for the players when a non-legendary Pokemon ends up taking over at the #1 spot, because it can be widely available for a lot of players. Up next is going to be the first of the Gen 1 starters, and that is Mega Venusaur, max CP of 3,424. Mega Venusaur is a dual type of grass and poison, so there is going to be no change to the typing. Basically, in this situation, it's going to be fairly simple, because Venusaur is already the #1 grass type attacker. So Mega Venusaur would simply just be a better version of it, and it would just kind of extend to that #1 spot. So it's definitely something that we would personally love to see, especially if it has access to the move Frenzy Plant. Up next, we have Charizard X. So Mega Charizard X, max CP of 3,659. It is a dual type of fire and dragon. So this is definitely something that a lot of people are excited about. There's going to be so much competition from that dragon typing, for sure, but at least from just like a coolness factor, Mega Charizard X is going to be so much fun to battle with, and something that a lot of people absolutely love, and I am personally very excited to see. And as you guessed it, since there is an X, we will see the Y on the list later on. Let's go ahead and get into the third and final starter of Generation 1, and that is Mega Blastoise, max CP of 3,660. Mega Blastoise is a pure water type Pokemon, so there's going to be no change to the typing. Just imagine this Pokemon with those sunglasses on that we got from Community Day. That would be so cool to have in battle. As far as being the #1 attacker, I think it could still get outclassed from that water typing, but with a buff like this, who knows, it could definitely make things interesting. Up next is going to be the first regional Pokemon that we have on this list, and that is Mega Kangaskhan with a max CP of 3,668. Mega Kangaskhan is a pure normal type Pokemon, so that's going to be something very interesting to talk about at some point, for the idea of having a regional Pokemon that would have the potential to become a Mega Evolution. So it's not the only regional that possesses that capability. You could talk about something like Heracross, But like I said, we're talking about Pokemon Let's Go in Generation 1. It could be so long before future generations get their Mega Evolutions. So this will be interesting to see what Niantic does with it. Up next is an absolutely epic Pokemon, and that is a Mega Slowbro, Max HP of 3,823. Mega Slowbro is a dual type of Water and Psychic, so there is going to be no change to the typing. As you can see, the Shelter Shell is slowly taking over Mega Slowbro. I feel so bad for it. It seems like it's just definitely progressed throughout its models. This is going to be something that would be exciting to have in the game. Is it going to be the #1 attacker from a water typing? I mean, it's going to have so much competition. There's definitely another Mega on this list. But then even something like a Kyogre, would it be able to outperform it? Probably not, but you could not deny that this Pokemon would be epic to battle with. Mega Aerodactyl with a max HP of 3,855. Mega Aerodactyl is a dual type of rock and flying, so there is going to be no change to the typing. But beyond that, is Aerodactyl going to be able to dominate from the rock or the flying type? There's so much competition even with Generation 4 coming into play. I think this is going to be one of those novelty Pokemon that you would definitely love to have. And even with the shiny variant being available, that could just be something really cool to have as a trophy Pokemon and something that would be super cool to have in the game. Up next is going to be a bug type Pokemon that will give Mega Beedrill a run for its money, and that is Mega Pinsir with a max HP of 3,896. Mega Pinsir is now a dual type of bug and flying, so it does pick up that flying typing. Absolutely magnificent. Pinsir is actually one of my favorite bug type Pokemon from Generation 1 along with Scyther. So just imagining it having a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Go would be so cool. Up next is a Pokemon that you should be afraid of, and that is Mega Gengar with a max HP of 3,927. Mega Gengar is a dual type of Ghost and Poison, so it is going to retain its original typing. Gengar already dominates, absolutely dominates from that Ghost typing. But could you imagine having something like a Legacy Move Gengar, so a Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball Gengar, and then getting it into a Mega form? That is going to be fantastic and is going to be an absolute monster. Mega Alakazam with a max HP of 4,175. Mega Alakazam is a pure Psychic type Pokemon. So this is the first Pokemon on this list that crossed past that 4,000 CP mark. Yes, we will be giving Slacking a run for its money with Mega Alakazam. Absolutely fantastic. Anytime you see a Pokemon above 4,000 CP, it's getting into that, oh my gosh, this is crazy range. Mega Alakazam definitely crosses that off the list and would probably be one of the best Psychic type attackers if it wasn't for the #1 and #2 spot, which we will get into later. Up next is the final version of the starter Pokemon from the Kanto region, and that is Mega Charizard Y with a max HP of 4,287. Mega Charizard Y is a dual type of fire and flying, so there is going to be no change to the typing. So this is basically going to act up as a souped up version for just the regular Charizard. So you have to ask yourself the question, would you rather have the Y or would you rather have the X that's going to change the typing to the dragon? Either way, just imagine having this Pokemon with a shiny variant and the Community Day exclusive move Blast Burn. It would easily propel it to like the #1 spot from a fire typing if Mega Pokemon get introduced into Pokemon Go. So up next, we have a Pokemon that is going to cross over the 4,500 CP range, and that is Mega Gyarados with a max CP of 4,536. Mega Gyarados is now a dual type of water and dark typing. So this Pokemon's going to be very interesting. Because of Gyarados getting access to the move Waterfall and having a double water typing moveset, this means that with the Mega being added in, it could theoretically outperform Kyogre. And how insane would that be if we had just a regular Gen 1 Pokemon outperforming a legendary Pokemon? That would be fantastic. Up next, we have the final two Pokemon. I'm actually going to go ahead and put up both on the screen at once because they do come from the same line. And that is Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Go ahead and take a look at it. Believe it or not, if the stats convert from just the regular Pokemon stats, this is what it would be like for both Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Absolutely incredible. Although Mega Mewtwo X does have a lower CP, it does pick up the fighting type. So maybe having something like a Focus Blast Mewtwo could propel it to the #1 spot from that fighting type. It's definitely going to be something interesting and something that I'm personally very excited to see in Pokemon Go. So we did cover quite a bit of the different models for the Mega Pokemon if they were introduced into Pokemon Go. I'm very excited about it. I know a lot of people never thought that the Alolan forms would be added in, yet they were added in early, so Mega Evolutions could definitely be added in as well. So I want to go ahead and end on a question of the day. When you were talking about all of these Mega Pokemon from the Kanto region, what is going to be your favorite Mega Evolution on this list? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.
Hit me like a tidal wave, triggered by the aftershock.